Of the many accounts that I audit each and every week, probably one of the biggest mistakes I see is just not enough data points being added to our campaigns. So when we create campaigns within Google, Google doesn't necessarily give us all the data points. We have to manually go in there and add these in ourselves to give us as much information to really optimize our campaigns to get the very best from our Google ads. So in today's video, I want to focus on location targeting, how we can really kind of get the nuance for this and make sure we've got this down to a T. And then from there, we can get the data to improve our Google ads moving forward. So what is location targeting? This is where obviously we're going to target certain areas. So if we're targeting, say, a country, United States, Google will automatically default to the country. But what we can do, we can manually go in and collect a little bit more data, say around states, or if you wanted to target cities, we can add those in. And what Google then will do, it will start giving us the information, clicks, impressions, click-through rates. It will look at the CPCs. It will give us all this information. And then potentially what we can do is if certain areas are doing better, then we can increase the bid adjustment to target a little bit more aggressively in those areas. And again, the opposite is true. We can then decrease certain areas as well. So what we're doing is making decisions based on data. But unless we actually manually go in and do this, Google won't do this for us. So we need to make sure that we're adding this in. And if you're targeting, say you're a service-based industry, you're a plumber, electrician, builder, and you're targeting, say, 20 miles around your particular zone, then again, you want to be doing this for, say, zip codes. And then from there, we can, again, do the same process. We can bid more aggressively in certain areas and again decrease the bid in certain areas that maybe we're just not seeing any traction, getting any conversions coming through, or we're just getting a lot of clicks and impressions, but again we're not getting the outcome, whether that be through sales or through conversions happening for leads. So again, we need to do this manually. So let's jump into this screenshot. Let me show you how we can actually add this data in. So we need to come into your Google dashboard. This is a demo account. Click on campaign, new campaign. And then from here, we'll just stick with the lead objective, and then we'll just guide us through. We just need to click through, depending on how fast or slow Google is today. And then from here, we'll click a search campaign, and then we'll just press continue. We'll come through to the bidding page. We'll just skip through that. Again, that's something that we're not going to be focusing on today. Start new. Bidding, and then we'll just click next. And then from here, we'll come to this particular page. Now, this is our location targeting. So I want to focus on this section here. So what we want to do is, if we were targeting a country, obviously we would click on this particular section, and then this will just target the country. But we could break this down. So if you were targeting the United Kingdom, you could break that down by counties. United States, you could break that down by states, cities, or depending on what your objective is. So let's jump into, click on here, enter another location, and then suddenly you see the options opening up for us. So again, we'll click on advanced settings, and then from here we can again target radiuses around certain areas. So if we wanted to target, say, if we put in London, include that, again, that will target 20 miles around London. And again, from here, what we could do was potentially, we click on here, click on this setting, and then as we do the drop down, we could do this by postal codes around London. And again, we can include, again, we could include, and then as I'm adding in the postal codes around London, again, we could see we get this data, we get how many people potentially we can reach, and then we get a little bit more granular data. That's if you're sort of like targeting, 10, 15, 20 miles around your location. But again, if we didn't want to do that and we wanted to target, let's give another example. If we wanted to target, say, United States, again, reach potentially 321 million. Again, we target all of this area, but the way we could break this down is if we, again, come over to the right-hand side, turn this on, and then we could then break this down by a number of different criteria. So again, that could be postal code, show by neighborhood, show by city, show by county, or the district that you wanted to target. If you wanted to target the states, another way you could potentially do this within Google is if you, on a sheet, you could just collect the data. So as an example, I've got this set for, this is about to load. I've got California, Texas, Florida, New York, Arizona. And again, if I put those in, add location in bulk, click on search, if it will allow me, Here we go. And then again, it gives you the size, and then you could either target that whole area or all of these locations, or you can exclude them if you don't want to be targeted. So again, we could target all of those. They get added in and we collect that data. Now, if I remove the United States, we can see we've got California, Arizona, Texas, and Florida and New York as well. So again, we would then save that. And again, you would just add in the states, or yeah, you would add in the states, all of the states in America. And then from there, what will happen is as you run the ads, you'll get data points, and the data points look like this. So this is one that I've done for the United Kingdom, and I've broken this down into our counties. And again, we can see based off the targeting that if it will allow me, Google is being a little bit glitchy. Yep, we can see, let me just zoom this in. So you can see this is all being broken down by the counties around the United Kingdom, and all these counties are targeted here. So we can see based off of this that the county that's performed very well for us and has a 20% bid adjustment, and this is the adjustment that you could make. We've got clicks, we've got impressions, this is our click-through rate, average CPC cost, conversion rate, and again, how many conversions we've had, and our cost per conversion. So you can see that based on the data, we can see what counties are doing well. So why not then add a bid adjustment to say to Google, we want to bid a little bit more aggressively in certain areas. So Greater London is doing well for us. And again, we can increase that. Example, £10 bid now becomes £12 bid. And again, we can change that. If we wanted to be slightly more aggressive, we could do a 30%. And again, it changes here. So if we save that, then again, what we're saying, we want ads to be seen a little bit more aggressively in these areas. But unless you manually put in the information into Google, you won't know what areas are working well for you, whether it be on a national level or if you're targeting around a certain area, unless you go in and actually do this. And the same is reversed for this. So again, if you come to the bottom, you can see that I've got a minus 90% as an example. We had some clicks, impressions, we had one conversion. Cost per conversion is £24. Again, almost double and a bit compared to the one I just showed you in Greater London. So again, we could say that we don't want the ads to be seen in this area. We want to reduce the bid adjustment by 80, 90%. You would then save that. And again, Google would make sure that we're not showing our ads in Buckinghamshire, which is this example here, but potentially we're going to be a little bit more aggressive in areas like Greater London. Potentially we could increase the bid adjustment here for West Midlands. So if I did that, and then bid adjustment, I can again increase that by 30% because we're getting a good amount of leads and a very good cost per conversion. This one actually is slightly better. So potentially this could be one that we'd want to target moving forward. But again, if we don't add this in, then Google won't provide this information. And these are the nuances. If you do this a little bit across all your campaigns, then potentially you're going to make better decisions based on the data points. And these are a number of different data points that we can collect within Google to improve our ads over time. So I hope this all helps make sense. If you have any questions, let me know. But if you want me to look at your Google ads, to look at little nuances like this, always happy to jump onto a 30-minute, no obligation, free audit, and I can look at your account, give you an audit, and then see how you can take your ad account from where it is to where you want it over a period of time based on information that I've just shown you on the nuances to improve your Google ads.